back. The second half of the TP Square show. Trouble rolled through the door. She all up in here. Hung right up on Brian. Brian, I told her she was going to get you. She hung right up on you as soon as she hit the door. Whoop. Hi, Brian. Bye, Brian.
Sorry, Brian. Listen.
She wasn't sorry. She ain't sorry.
Right. Listen, I mean, there's too many things to talk about. The devil's a liar. I was stuck in traffic. The weather was terrible. But we're here. We're together. Dana's Real Talk, TP Square Show, Genesis Radio. We're here. And we have a lot to talk about. Right? So
Yes,
I'm just going to get all in it. Let me just start by saying I want to say a big, huge shout out to Dana Walker and Fidencio Jorge, who has inspired me for today's topic subjects, right? We went to Central Park. We got lost. We had a great time.
I talked about them in that little video y'all did in Central Park. I told them, we talked about
Oh, you did? You did? See?
About that man-boy stuff.
Right.
Her little friend.
Yes. So, yeah, we had a conversation about it. I mean, Dana's married. She's dated before. Fidencia's, you know, she's minding her business. So we start talking about things. And I said, Dana, what is the problem?
She said,
man boys. And she's happily married. So that's not even her problem. The fact is that they are around. And when we finally started discussing it, I was like, oh, I think I dated one or two of them. Oh, I think I did that. But anyway, before we go into it, something even more incredible happened. Last night, a young lady emailed me, and I'm not going to say her name because I take this extremely seriously as far as people's confidentialities. And she sent me this message. She wrote, "Hey Diana, where do I start? I think I'm in love with someone and I don't know how to deal with these feelings I have for him. He's someone I have worked with for almost 6 months now, and it's been an emotional roller coaster with he and I. I just want to share this with someone who basically won't tell her business out there, who doesn't really know her personally. And I know you'll give me the best advice and tell me what to do." So I wrote to her, when you say intimate, what do you mean? Intimate meaning having sex? And why is it a roller coaster? These are all the questions I wanted to ask her. Well, at the end of it, it's she says, yes, it was just sexual, but he says I'm an emotional roller coaster, so he doesn't want to be intimate with me anymore, and he will keep it professional. I have been sexually involved with him since January.
Yeah, you know.
Now, this is something she sent to me yesterday.
Okay.
Now, before, let me just do a disclaimer, because I am in a room full of men, and they have opinions, very strong opinions, and I love my crew. But let's stop and think. There's a woman, a very vulnerable woman, who is asking us a real question.
Okay, we gonna keep it 100 with her.
Okay,
I'll keep
1,000.
Go ahead, Cal.
Sis.
So what do we say to her?
First off, you got to decide: is it your cookies or your mind, which is more important? Because basically, you've already put yourself in a position where you're saying, yeah, you've been sexually active with him. That's fine and well, and now you're catching feelings. How does he feel? Are these progressive feelings, or are they just wherever it is? Was he just feeling you for the moment till the deed was done, and you took it further? So you got to put all your cards on the table and decide, is it worth to continue?
Well, you know what? First of all, you know, most men only like the beginnings anyway. You know that, right?
Exactly.
You know, and you got to keep it. You got to keep it fresh, new, and exciting. So either she didn't keep it fresh, new, and exciting, and she ran her course. But you know what? I'm gonna say like Walter and Scotty said: stop using your body and use your brain. You got to think past go. You know.
You got a lot of thumbs up on that one.
Yeah, how about that? You got to think past go, man.
To be perfectly honest, ladies, and I'm not going to say I speak for all men because I won't.
Big shout out to Chill. That was his line. He don't like the beginnings.
But the fact of the matter is, after we've done the deed, you got to show us what other reason do I have to be around here? And if you can't impress us with a conversation, something else to stimulate our other head, then boo-boo, it's a wrap. You're done.
Yeah. Because you know, most men, we all got ADD of some form.
Anyway,
you know what I mean. So guess we gonna get bored real quick anyway. You know what I mean. So guess what? You know, you got to be able to stimulate us in more than one way. And guess what? see, sex after a while is like, what else you got? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the next.
You know, can you cook? Yeah. Are you adventurous? Yeah. Are you spontaneous? You know,
he's getting all the love.
You know, we need to know that.
We ain't got nothing to talk about. In the words of my man G-Rap, Buck said, "Nothing, get up and wipe my dick on the curtain."
And I might leave $20 on the table for you.
Exactly.
Get yourself something to drink.
Oh God! You know, I hope, sister. You know, when you do listen to this, if you're listening to this right now, you heard it from the guys. It didn't come from just one person. It came from these men who have addressed the issue in a real and honest way. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you what your first mistake is. Your first mistake was sleeping with somebody who you work with. That's the first mistake.
You never mess with the help.
You never, ever do that. That's something, I mean, at times we all have made a mistake where you slept with somebody who you work with, then you realize very quickly it wasn't something that you should have done. It's something that's really, it's a very poor decision. Once you do it, you don't ever do it again, ever, never. So if this is your first time doing this, don't ever let it happen again. That's number one. Number two, you didn't really get to know this guy other than in a professional environment. You didn't really get to know him through a friendship where you could have understood or knew where he was coming from the beginning. Because if you did stop and have a few conversations with him, it doesn't even mean elaborate dinners. But if you would have stopped to really get to know this guy's mental, you would have known what he wanted from the beginning anyway. And at that point, if you wanted to sleep with him knowing that that's all he wanted, then as a big girl, put on your big girl panties and accept the consequences that occur after it. I don't know how many times I have to say what I say about taking accountability. I say it all the time. Don't I say it all the time?
Absolutely.
Take accountability for your actions. Understand when you walk into something, it might turn out some way you don't like it or don't want it to be.
Be that chick.
Right? So, right. So my thing is this, sister,
it's sad.
I feel for you. It's sad. I feel for you, and I want you to understand that love is something that happens to all of us, even to the most expected, for the most expected people at the most unexpected times. So understand that I feel for you in that you have a right to care for somebody. You have a right to feel that you love this person, that you're falling in love with this person. Or is it really the fact that it's just rejection and you want something you can't have? Because sometimes people can misconstrue the fact of being rejected with wanting them and loving them. Now, you are being rejected. Let's just start that way. And I don't want to come across as being mean, but you're being rejected. He doesn't want anything to do with you. He told you to your face.
I got a question. And I don't know if when you talk to her, if she lets you sit. Is this man married?
I don't know if this man is married. All I know is that
she married?
She's not married.
Okay, so she's single and she don't know if he's married or not.
I don't know if he's married or not.
Okay.
She and I didn't discuss that.
Husband or work wife. They always say that.
Yeah.
There's been a thing going on like that's my work wife or that's my work husband.
Yeah, but I think, and I get that and I respect that. But in this particular case, the gentleman just doesn't want anything to do with her. So my advice to you, sis, because what she asked me was, Diana, please guide me. So I'm going to guide you, and I want you to treat this as if your big sister is talking to you. I want you to leave this man alone, completely alone. You, as a woman, as a human being, should never want somebody who doesn't want you. If he doesn't want you, don't invest your time or energy into even thinking about him, being with him. I want you to understand the first thing you need to do is love yourself. Work on yourself. Think about, why was I with this person in the first place? Was it loneliness? Was it the fact that I was horny? What is it? Why were you with him in the first place? Why do you feel like you love him? And why would you want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with you? Right? So at the end of the day, from sister to sister, you either can leave the job, because from what you told me, you have an independent company, you're your own boss. God bless you. Right,
she's an independent contractor.
Right, so you could leave the facilities, literally, right? Because you're gonna have to see him anyway,
every day,
right? Every day. Yeah. So why? It's like a slow death. It's looking at somebody every single day that you feel right. So you can do that
unless she like how you laid his game down, laid his thing down, and he hit it with the Jay-Z head nod like.
Right. Because you don't want to become a situation where now you're being disrespected. Even in the most minute situations, you don't want to feel disrespected.
That's definitely a scrap iron situation.
Right.
Not
So
trying to be a lunchroom conversation.
Right, agreed. That's another thing. You don't want to be company conversation. You know, at the end of the day, what happened with you two was the fact that he was horny. He wanted to have sex with you. You gave him sex. Men will say things that you want to hear for the final objective, right? Some are good guys. Some are guys who mean what they say. But the fact that you had been sexual with him since January and you didn't know where your relationship stood with him, I have a problem with that. Because for me, there should have been questions asked. There should have been, you know, what are we doing here? What are you doing? You know, get it up front.
The main thing was y'all together on Valentine's Day, the day before, the day after? Because if you was with him the day before or the day after, you scrap iron. So that, I mean, them holidays play a major part. Now, if you didn't get that Valentine's Day,
time played a major part.
Yeah, you better know it.
Spending all that time.
You better pick up on it before you drop it.
Sweetheart, listen, just know that you're not by yourself. Every one of us as women, have been.
Don't you say it.
Everyone.
Don't you say it.
All of us have been in one way or another.
You been scrap iron?
I don't.
You been scrap iron?
I don't know what scrap iron is. I've always been wifey. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, don't say it.
But all of us have had our feelings hurt by a man, right? All of us have been. I hate to use the word tricked. But, you know, when you're a little younger, gamed, we've all been gamed somewhere down the line.
Okay, well,
and it's normal, and it happens.
Just a player being played. Okay.
Right, exactly. And you know what? Even the best of the best have been played. I don't care who you are. In some way or form or another. I don't care who you are. So, sister, don't take it as a personal thing. Don't take it as a blow to who you are as a human being and where you're going to go moving forward. This is a situation that occurred. This is something that happened that one time. This is only one time situation. Take this, create wisdom from it. Look at it as your next steps of something that you will never do again. You won't sleep with somebody you work with, A. The next time you start...
She needs to call in.
And call in if you can. She said she had a break soon. And if you do start sleeping with somebody or being with somebody, then I want you to understand, get it up front. What do you want to do? What exactly are we doing here? What is on your mind? Before you even had sex with the person. Now, you're a grown-ass woman. If you want to have sex with somebody, who am I to say not to have sex with somebody, right? But you need to understand that there are circumstances and consequences behind having sex with somebody who you don't know, right? So that's what I'm going to say to you. I want you to start tapping into loving yourself. Really loving and caring yourself like nobody has ever
Get out of my head.
loved
I was just thinking that.
Or cared for you again. Know that you came from the Most High. You were created in His image. That alone should make you feel special. That alone should make you understand that I am one of a kind. I'm a woman. I'm a one of a kind woman. This man just couldn't see my beauty. And
he saw her beauty and the booty.
Yes, I understand, but the fact that he couldn't recognize what kind of person she could have been, I mean, maybe that's just not what he wanted. But if he doesn't want it, somebody else is going to come along that does want it.
Absolutely.
So as far as I'm concerned, screw him, middle finger to him, and now it's time for you, as a girl, big girl, to start self-reflecting and say to yourself, how do I avoid doing this again?
I got somebody we should introduce her to.
Who?
His name is Brian. He lives in North Carolina.
Oh, Lord, Brian.
I was going to say, in regards, in someone being devil's advocate, homeboy might be afraid himself. As you said,
I've had a guy who I dated who was scared and nervous of being with me. Yeah, because he knew, there was one man who actually said to me.
You put a guy under pressure.
He said to me, Diana, you make me nervous. And I looked at him like, what do you mean I make you nervous? He said, I know you're the real deal, and I will fall in love with you. And he was scared.
As she said, she's catching feelings. They've been rocking since
January. She definitely caught feelings.
So, yeah, and he might have feelings too, but he doesn't know how to express them.
Right. He doesn't know how to express them, or he doesn't want to know how to express them.
Exactly.
You were just somebody that he spent a little bit of time with.
You know what?
And that was that.
And I would suggest to her, sit him down, lay her cards on the table. Say, listen.
I don't. Let me tell you why.
Did.
I disagree with you 100%.
Why is that?
I got to cut you off on that because he already told her, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Oh, see,
well,
I didn't know that.
because
like dude must be married.
But not only that, keep in mind,
He
though,
might be. He
married.
might be.
Yeah, I didn't know
He didn't want
that.
nothing.
He already told her.
a lot of men can have emotionless sex. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, when they go to the strip joint, they get the bras the money, no emotions. See, with women,
No feelings.
all that stuff, all that intimacy stuff, it's emotions attached with that.
You want to take care of
You know?
That come with time, though. That's when emotions and the feelings.
Yeah,
come
but
in
not,
through
well,
time.
a guy, it takes a little time for him to get emotionally
Right.
attached.
Right.
But a lot of women, when they let down their guards, you know, and they let you physically put hands on them, you know, and you get intimate with them, their emotions is already
involved.
and full
That's how
swing.
I am. If I let you,
Full swing.
if I let you in that way, I'm emotionally something
You know?
because I'm not gonna let you just do anything without me feeling anything. I
That's
can't
right.
do anything emotionless.
Yeah, see?
I can't.
Women make emotional decisions, men make rational decisions. And because we make rational decisions, it's like, well, we want to take it for a ride, drive around the block a few times and kick the tires and see if we like it. You know what I mean? Whereas with women, I buy it. They're impulsive shoppers. They see it, they want it, they buy it. That's it. But men, we gonna take it on the test run. I don't know, because you know what? I'm still looking at old girl around the corner here because, you know, her credit is like an 800. You know what I mean? You know, and she ain't got no baby daddies. Oh, she got one baby daddy. So I'm
You got
digging on
everybody
her.
laughing. He's got
I'm
the
digging
whole
on her.
studio laughing.
You
back
fine
there.
as wine, though.
The
but
men
you
are
fine.
loving this. The
You
men are
fine.
loving this.
You fine, but you know what? You got 4 baby daddies and whatnot. You done made some bad decisions already.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because see, me, when I evaluate women, I look at all that stuff.
So I mean, let's. I'm gonna wrap this up because we got to get into some of the stuff you just picked up on because I think it's important to talk about that. So my message to you, and let's go around the room. My message to you, baby girl, is leave this joker alone. He's not worth your time. Learn, read the Bible, pray. You have to pray your way through it. Self-love is so much work, but it's so worth it once you finally start really liking yourself.
Loving yourself.
What's your final word to her?
You got to cut your losses. You know, you got to be realistic in your expectations. If the man told you he's not into you, he don't want you, you got to let him go.
And that's coming from a man. Kyle, what's your final word?
Just like what T said, if a man has told you already his interest, his involvement is null and void, cut your losses and move on. You're only going to hurt yourself because he's already done with it.
Okay. Renzo, what's yours? Pull up the
Mine is
Facebook
love
that-
yourself.
that we're going to talk about today.
Love yourself and learn from your mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes. Exactly.
Learn exactly from your mistakes and move on from this one and love yourself. Cater to yourself, love yourself more, and just move on. Just learn from your mistakes.
There you go. You've heard. I promised you that we were going to get back to you. You heard we had to talk about. If you want to call in, you know how to find me, 888-304-4401. If not, inbox me and we could talk further. Just so you understand that it's coming from love. It's not coming from trying to be. I mean, we're all jokesters in the room. We all make fun of everything, but we make fun of each other. But just know we're serious when we mean, you know, it's important to get over this. It's important to learn how to love yourself and move on, period. Okay, with that being said, Terry has said something that piqued my interest just now. Maybe this is not the right time to talk about this because this is not on the list that we're going to talk about. He said, when a man sees a woman with a bunch of kids, never been married, you know, just kind of jump off of baby mamas, do you look at them differently?
Absolutely.
So if there's a girl out here who has 2, 3, 4 kids, never been married, is with none of the guys, do you guys judge her?
Absolutely. Actually, her decision-making process is flawed. She makes bad decisions. If you know he ain't the dude for you, I put it to you this way.
How do you know if she doesn't know?
If you have one baby by your childhood sweetheart, you were young. You get a pass.
I've done that.
You get a pass for that. But then you have another baby by another joker and another baby. It's like, what the hell is you doing? What was you thinking about? You know what I mean? Because now I'm not investing in you because you've already exhibited your sense of judgment is flawed. You know what I mean? Because I can't trust you to help me make decisions when you make bad decisions already. You know, especially if all 4 of your baby daddies, 2 of them is dead and the other 2's in jail. You know what I mean? So you don't know the definition of a man, and you like a street level barbarian, and that's what you're attracted to. So guess what? You're not my sandwich. You know. So guys that know me always hit me about my sandwich. You know, women got to be my sandwich. We got to have a whole lot in common. I got to be able to trust you. And if you can't help me make decisions, or you make bad decisions, my famous 5 words: you're no good for me. Right. You know what I mean? So yes, we judge them.
Yes, I mean, although I am and as you guys know it, I'm a huge feminist, and sometimes my methods could be militant, as you guys would call it. It's not militant. It's in your face. It's straightforward. Some of the times, a lot of the things that we talk about, I want you guys to understand that I've been through it, and I can talk about it because that's what wisdom is about. It's about being able to share wisdom so that you can avoid it. So it's true. I feel that if a woman has a lot of baby daddies, never been married, hasn't settled down with any of them, I have to start looking at you in a way where, what exactly are you getting from this? What are you trying to do?
And it works both ways with men too, with a bunch of people.
It does. When I see a man with a bunch of kids, I'm like, what's going on with you? So I met this guy who was 40-something years old, and I said, have you ever been married before? He goes, no. I said, well, how many kids do you have? He has 7.
Wow.
You got 7 kids and never been married before? And
that should be the biggest red flag.
That's the hugest red flag. I was done with dinner. Check, please. But anyway, we're going to end this.
What he said about me, because my wife had 2 kids when I met her.
Right.
So I didn't know, but when I met her, she was a beautiful woman, still is, to this day. You know what I mean? But I just had to accept the kids with her.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but no, I understand that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But when you see, I think what TP was saying is when you see a woman, with no goals in life.
That's right.
And have a bunch, kids, and then you look at the baby daddy like you just scraped him off the ground or scraped him off the streets and plugged him off the street. It's questionable behavior. Okay, I'm done with that. We're not going to talk about that anymore. We're going to go to Diana's Real Talk topic subject, which now I'm calling my menu. So as I was talking to you before, I was in Central Park. I went to go actually do something, and we got lost. I didn't realize how big Central Park was, but we got lost. And we started drinking and talking, and a bunch of women started, coming together, Dana and Fidencia and myself. And I said, what are things that bother you, ladies? And Dana says, Dana, what is the deal with man boys? I never thought of that word in my life, man boy. What is a man boy? I actually Googled it, and what came up was hysterical. And then I realized, have I ever been, because I always ask myself the question first before I start talking to other people, because it's only fair. Keep it real to yourself. Do that first. And so, for me, a man boy is somebody, well, I raised a man. My son is 26 years old. Let me start by saying a lot of times women will raise man boys. And quite honestly, I think I contributed to my son's lack of maturity at one point or another because, my sister's on. Ruthie, I love you. The fact that, we baby them. We baby our boys, especially in a Latino culture. We baby our boys. We clean for them. We cook for them. We tell them that nobody, no woman is as good as we are. And so they start believing that and they take that on into their adult lives, making them men boys, right? And that is the truth. That is the truth. For me, a man boy is somebody who doesn't clean up after themselves. I really had to stop and think about it. I really did. A man that you got to clean up after, which is, to me, is pathetic. You got to clean up after, I got to clean up after a grown man. A man that you have to continuously tell them what to do. Like, babe, you got to get up to do this, or you got to do that. You got to constantly remind.
Acting like a boy.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel like you're nagging, and you don't want to feel like you're nagging, but you feel like you got to constantly remind them to do the things that they should already know to do, right?
But then there's sometimes a problem because some women, unfortunately, take on the role where they feel they're not his lady, they're his mother.
I can't do that. I'm not raising no man.
No. Exactly.
I'm not raising a man. I'm not doing it.
That's sometimes the unfortunate situation because I've seen and been involved in situations where you almost have to press the pause button and say, hold up, whoa. I'm not your child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're looking for your child. You know, either he's not here yet or you haven't had one. Or it's not me.
Right. I mean, I understand men are not, nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah,
like nobody's perfect. But there are very clear things and demonstrations, acts that guys do, men do,
yes,
where you could tell.
I agree.
Like, for instance, there's no proper home training. There's no maturity. I feel that, especially when a man who's playing video games all day,
yes,
you're a grown man playing video games all day. And when I get home, when we talk about things, I'm talking to you about, you know, this real estate development property down the block, and you telling me about Call of Duty. You're a man child. You have nothing to add, no value to add, and that is an embarrassing thing. It's so embarrassing.
Okay, Scooter.
Right. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with playing video games, right?
No,
I mean, everybody has their little...
Not when you're talking real estate.
Right. I mean, you don't bring that up.
All right, Scooter, bedtime.
Right. And then I'm going to tell you what time to go to sleep, what time you need to get up, you know, or I got to tell you to get your hair cut or clean your nails. And just things like that are just really embarrassing. Now, I'm going to share something very personal, and I know they are going to, when I do go back to Staten Island, I'm going to hear it. But I got to do it. Ruthie Bellamy, I know you're going to agree with me because Ruthie Bellamy is my sister. We have the same mother, same father. You know, she's my best friend, my confidant. Now, did mommy raise man boys? If you can, call in 888-304-4401. Now,
I can answer that question.
What? What's the answer? What's a man boy?
No, but did your mother raise any man boys?
Tell me.
Your brothers are thugs.
My brothers are thugs.
Well-known thugs.
2 out of 3, and they're well-known. Yeah.
Everybody know.
Not anymore. They're good guys now. But when we were growing up...
Thugs meaning tough guys.
Yeah.
Not the new urban.
No.
Right. No, my brothers are a lot older now, but I'm talking about...
They were goony goons.
They were goons.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is my mother, being a woman from Puerto Rico, 100% born in Puerto Rico, raised 3 boys. Mm-hmm. And I remember, Ruthie, tell me if I'm wrong. Here's mommy. She would take the plate. Here, Poppy, to my oldest brother. Here, Poppy. And then they would dirty all the dishes, put it in the sink, pile it up to here. Dana, come wash the dishes. Really, Ma? So this dude is right here in the living room, not doing a damn thing. That's his dish, but me and my sister got to clean it up. Me and my sister got to do, and that's a mama's boy. When he has problems, he runs to mommy. I mean, everybody should run to his mother. Every guy, but the way you do it, the way my brother, and I'm not going to say which brother this was, but it was the most, and I hate to use this word, but I'm going to use it, the most bitch shit I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh.
Look,
and then go outside, but then go outside and start knocking people out. I'm like, how you do that? You're a bitch in the house and a thug in the street. I'm embarrassed.
Well, that's kind of like with men be laying around.
My brother comes out the shower. My mother's there with his towel warm. I said, Mom, what are you doing with the towel? Oh, I had to make sure it was warm so that when he comes out, he's not cold. So now, fast forward, he's got this woman that he's living with, right? They're together. Mm-hmm. None of them are married. Just one of them did get married, but he got divorced because she got tired of his man-boy ways, right? First of all, if you want to get out of the man-boy situation, commit to something. Commit to someone. Do something that's committing. And David, I know you're laughing at me because we grew up together and you know which brother I'm talking about. And God forbid if my brother had a bad day outside in the streets, right? Even if my brothers were selling drugs and my brothers had a bad day, my mother, 4'9", would go in the corner they were selling drugs and leave sandwiches for them.
Hey, man.
Mommy, really?
Your mom's was all right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Your mom's was all right.
You know, it falls back to that ancient statement. Daddy's
Calls up
baby,
Ryan.
Mama's baby. So no matter what,
Boogie, you could call in.
You be 60 years old. If your mom's still alive, you still her baby.
Listen, my son comes home, and the first thing I say is, "Papa, you hungry?" That's the first thing I say. See? And I make sure I rub his shoulders, right? Right? But one thing about me, again, you guys call me militant. I'm not militant. I make sure that I strap you with enough education and knowledge to know that once you walk outside my house, the world is a mean place. Uh-oh, somebody's calling in. Hold on.
Beat up is on the phone.
Good.
Genesis Radio, Janice, Real Talk.
Diana, what's poppin'? It's Rashad on Solo. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I said I was gonna call in on, hey, y'all, going in on one of my favorite topics right now. So I said, let me call in. Let me say something real quick.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, Rashad. Share, baby, share.
Yeah. First, I'll kind of start out in defense of some of these men, only because I think it's good for people to kind of get that full perspective. But in my ideology, I feel like a lot of these man boys, and I'll use your term, I won't use my French term, but I feel like a lot of these dudes, again, they don't... Rashad,
excuse me. Before we even get into this conversation, I need you to understand the reason why it's called Real Talk is because it's real. I don't want you to hold your tongue. I want you to tell it like it is, because then it makes it fake. Keep it all the way real. Go ahead.
But at the end of the day, the reason that fuckboys exist is because fuckboys don't know what men are. A lot of fuckboys, they don't grow up around men. It's the laws trying to lead the law. So at the end of the day, like a lot of you were saying, for a man to be a man, it's about accepting responsibility. Whatever his personal activities, however he chooses to enjoy himself is how that man chooses to enjoy himself. But a lot of men, or again, fuckboys, neglect their responsibility.
And taking accountability. Take accountability.
Yeah. But again, so in taking accountability, again, a lot of women enable these men to be fuckboys and to cater to their fucking...
I can't disagree with you, Rashad.
Well, Rashad, where you from? You from Staten Island too?
No, I'm from Long Island, actually.
From New York? New York?
Yeah,
Long Island, Nassau.
Okay, all right.
I can't even disagree with you because, quite honestly, a lot of women, a lot of man boys go from their mother's homes, their mother's living situation, right into a woman's home, right? And continue with the same behaviors, but in a woman's home. The only difference is that now they're having sex. But the behavior is completely the same.
It's like I said, I feel like people cater to certain shit. We have to be accountable for both of our actions. Because again, I feel like a lot of women, even in the situation that you said with your brother, right? Shorty got married to him knowing that this is what he expected, right? So all of a sudden, a couple of years into it, you get tired of doing that. I actually think that's fucked up on her part as well.
So you expect her to stay with a man who's acting like a child? So you want her to raise this man?
You got married to a man who was acting like a child.
Okay, but I get what you're saying. I think marriage is one of those things where you need to commit. Being married already, I understand. Divorce, my next marriage, divorce will not be an option. There's certain things, you're just going to have to deal with because everybody's not perfect. I get that. But if this is her first marriage, she's married to this dude, he's out there fronting like he's a man, and he's treating her like a man should treat a woman, right? Now all of a sudden they're living together. Now they're married. Now his guard is down. Now the behavior starts coming out. And she's putting up with this for 10 years.
Oh, she's a daggone fool.
She's a fool.
Right? And now she's out in the streets fighting him, looking like a chicken head in the streets. What woman goes out in the streets and fist fights a man?
A crazy one.
Right? Like, who does that?
A crazy one.
I've done it. Now let me stop. I mean, what I'm saying is you can't expect a woman to stay with a man child, and not get frustrated. It's not her job to raise a man. It's her job to show him her role as the woman in his life. It's his man to show leadership. It's a man's job to show leadership. Women don't want to lead.
Completely. I agree with you completely. But what I'm saying, again, I'm playing devil's advocate here because, I like to stand up for these dudes on the case. But
I'm glad you know, that's true. But so what is your advice to man boys? First of all, Rashad, even better. Even better. Give me the top 3 definitions of a man boy to you.
Like I said, a fuckboy is a man who doesn't handle his responsibility.
Doesn't handle responsibility. What's the next one?
Yeah, it's a man who doesn't understand the importance of the role of a woman in his life.
A man who doesn't understand the importance of a role of a woman in his life. Okay.
Yeah. And then the third thing would be a man who lacks ambition.
A man who lacks ambition. Okay. So with that being said, which I agree with you on all 3 points, I think all of us in this room agree with you. What advice would you give a man boy?
Tell him to man up, right?
Look, at the end of the it sounds good, right? But like, again, you kind of already know what I do. Like, I try to talk to people all the time. At the end of the day, it's up to that man. Like, you can't force a man to be a man. You really can't. You could sit there, you could talk to him till you blow in the face. You could try to tell this man, you know what I'm saying, this is how to move. But I'm sorry. I like to deal with the reality of the situation, right? I know dudes haven't really had no real job since they graduated like high school. Know what I mean? But living with females, got baby moms moving into their baby mom's crib, like, you know what I'm saying?
Who
like,
does that? Men don't do that, dog. Men don't do that.
Men don't do that, Rashad.
But men don't. But this is what I'm saying. We talking about fuckboys, like.
That's true. That's true.
Create room for these niggas to continue to maneuver, like.
I ain't moving in no
men
woman
don't
house.
move a certain type of way, but to be honest with you, my man, like, and I'm not, you know, I try to keep as many real people around me as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But I reckon the majority of niggas, in my mind, they not real. The majority of niggas is not men. In my mind, walk those 3 facts alone. Right? But I'm not the type of person who's going to sit there and judge you. If at the end of the day you want to become real, I'm going to try to show you.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of the situation is most of these niggas not real.
Well, but a lot of that stuff is just learned behavior, though. You know, because if you don't got a good role model to show you how to be a man, you know, if you know, look, if your mother was scrap iron and you got a whole bunch of brothers and sisters with different daddies, you know, you saw some crazy stuff. All right. Now, if your father figure was there and he was a strong, dominant figure in your household, you're not gonna have these issues that you're talking about. These man boys. What do you call them? Man boys.
Man boys.
How many brothers do you know who really had that? How many people do you know who had those strong father figures in the household?
Well,
like
where we grew up at, where I grew up at, I mean,
yeah, we grew up in the same area. We had our household tag.
Yeah.
A man to look up to.
Most of the people in my neighborhood where I grew up at as a kid, we all had a mommy and daddy at home. You know,
or an uncle or a cousin who was older who showed
a
male role model.
Right, a male role model. It doesn't have to be your father, right? Because my brothers, believe it or not, were my male role models. So my uncles were my male role models, and I was able to see the behaviors between a man boy and a real man.
Like, look, there's certain levels of respect that every man can have for different members of his family and this and the third. And, you know, I'm not going to try to take up much more of your time or whatever the case may be.
No, but Rashad, we really appreciate you calling in because you really have shed some more light into the man boy behavior, because that's a term I literally just heard from Dana Walker, one of my best friends. She said man boy, and I thought to myself, I don't even know what that is. But now that now that you just clarified, there are certain behaviors with man boys that we as women need to really watch out for, because man boys dress like men.
That sounds gay to me, though.
Real talk.
Man boy, that kind of sounds.
But they're okay. Men in diapers.
As this is Diana's real talk. Big Cat, let me keep you 100. Bottom line, man boys and all of that, no. Bitch ass dudes.
No, he said he called them
fuck boys.
That's danger.
Fuck boys.
That's what danger say.
We've been calling them bitch ass dudes
for years. That's what I call them.
We call them fuck boys too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the newest term.
Yeah.
But
let me ask you a question. I'm gonna just take this a step further. Do you feel that men that come out of jail are inherent fuck boys?
No.
Like in Shay LaFave?
No, not gay. I'm take sexual preference out of this. I'm talking about behavior.
No, behaviorally.
I don't think so.
It depends on who
I ain't never been to jail, none of that, but I think like it's about kind of the experience that you make it. Because I know a lot of people who came out of jail and got their lives like right. You know what I'm saying? They probably went into prison.
Right. But what about the dudes that come out of jail and move in with a woman?
Those are the ones that lack ambition.
Those
come
are
keep going back and forth to jail.
They
don't want. They keep going back and forth to jail. You know, they ain't trying to do nothing. They ain't about.
Is there something wrong with a man moving in with a woman?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Who does that?
Yeah, you know why?
I ain't moving in with no woman.
Rashad, what do you think? As our caller, what do you think?
I mean, to be honest with you, I agree with what they saying.
Ain't moving in with no woman.
Hold on. Now I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. I did a bit.
Hold on, Rashad.
I did a bit. I came home. I moved in with my son's mother, right? But I had the
Well, you needed the address for parole. That's different.
Yeah,
no, not even so much that. I had my house in Queens, but the thing was, I felt this was an opportunity, new relationship, new situation, so on and so forth. However, I did have it in me to want better and my own.
More, right.
I wanted my own. Granted, she had her situation, but I wanted my own situation to create and develop. So that was just a stepping stone. A man moving in with a woman is just that. Use it as a stepping stone, not as your foundation and your security.
And where you're going to just be complacent with.
Let me piggyback with that, Cal.
Ooh, that's
not a good thing to me because the first argument, and you winning the argument is get your stuff and get out of my house.
But that's just it,
and look how you feel getting your stuff and walking out of that house. You feel less than a man. Less than a man because you paid bills, you did things in that house, and she got Section 8 or whatever, so you helping her out, on the side with cable bill, Carnet, and this, that, and she still got the authority to throw you out of that house.
So what is your suggestion for men who think they want to live with a woman?
Place because you can control things. Like me, right now I live by myself, and I'm in control.
How about a mindset of we get something together?
Exactly, but that's
what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
That's when you're in a couple, and your plan, your mindset is togetherness, and you're trying to get a big house or a crib. That's when you're together and you settling
But to
down.
Cal's point, he lived with her temporarily and built off of that.
Because the thing is, she's had it. Like I said, I was coming from a situation. Now I moved in with her on that situation. Now, in the same time, I'm putting myself together to build my situation. So when the time comes and I don't agree with her or whatever, and she says that you can get out, all right, peace. Because I can get out.
But should you? But no. But should you, Rashad? Should you?
Establish yourself.
But should you live with a woman that you? Well, you never really know. Not in fear. But should you live with a woman where there isn't a discussed commitment? The commitment where you guys are gonna build together.
If we ain't building nothing together, we ain't gonna be together.
You should never.
I do understand what
with someone you're not in a partnership.
Using it as a stepping stone and all that. And I think at the end of the day, like you just can't be living off no woman. Like if you live with her, but you take care of some bills or something, like I can't really be mad at you. You know what I mean? But again, it is all about
Ooh, Terrell Branch said. Hold on, Terrell. Hold on a second. How do you?
Shout out to P.O.
Thank you, Rashad.
I see you, P.O. on the check-in.
Genesis Radio, Dan. Genesis Radio, Dan. It's Real Talk.
Yes, how you doing?
Hi.
Who's calling? Where you calling from?
Boogie. Yo, what's up, Pookie? What's up, Renzo?
What up?
Oh, that's Boogie. What's up, Boogie?
What's up, Boogie?
Yeah. What's going on?
Let me just say something real quick. Terrell Branch said, how can a man be called a provider if he's being provided for?
Exactly.
Ooh, that's cool.
Ooh,
very much so.
We need a Band-Aid for that one.
This is what I'm saying.
So, Boogie, go ahead. Chime in, man. You listen to the topic?
Yeah, that can never happen. This is kind of a topic that I've been researching for years, man. And basically the roles have changed between the mothers and the fathers. Because I'm listening to what y'all saying, and Pookie,
Terry and Renzo, we had fathers that taught us how to be men.
Absolutely.
And then what happened is the mothers converted the women and coddled the sons.
Converted into
So
women? They convert to women?
They coddled the sons.
Okay.
Mothers have started coddling their sons.
They coddled, the mothers coddled their
Well, because
sons.
we're affectionate.
And they converted the mothers in what the fathers converted us into, being providers and caretakers. That's why you got a lot of girls out here saying that they can do things for themselves and they don't need a man.
Well, I hate when I hear a woman say, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Unless you're a lesbian.
So you got role reversals that have changed. And so, with those role reversals that have changed, within society, everything has been changed. So if you look at, us and our generation, we all know how to hustle. We know how to take care of each other. We know how to provide.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
be there as men because we was taught as men. But
how do you feel about a man moving in with a woman?
That will never happen in my household or anybody that's on that panel's household. So I don't even know anything about that.
We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Because we are providers, we are caretakers. That's what we've grown and known.
But would you do it temporarily?
I don't understand.
Would you do it temporarily until you got something together?
To spend the night?
No. Would you move into a woman's home temporarily and then build and get something together?
No, I would never do that.
Would you ask for a woman's key?
I know how to provide for myself and I know how to take care of myself. See, as a man, I already know how to do that. So that option wouldn't even be an option for me because as a man, I would already know how to survive and provide for myself. To not even get into an option to be able to have someone else take care of me.
But moving now, I'm gonna play the other side, the other advocate. So if a woman allows you, you're in a relationship. I'm gonna build a picture. You're in a relationship, and you are having difficulties with your living situation, right? And she says, "All right, come stay with me for a little while, but then we're gonna build and get something together temporarily." And knowing that this man is working to get something better, is that so bad? I mean, I'm just curious. Is that really that bad?
I guess it might be from our generation. Our generation might be a little different.
It's totally different. The men in your generation is completely...
It might be a little different because that makes me feel so uncomfortable. I just, no.
Well, I'll give a hypothetical. I'll give a hypothetical.
Just can't.
Now, you might you got a great job, what have you, and you have your own place. You have an apartment, whatever. And you're dating a woman, she has her own place. Something happens, maybe your job downsizes. And now your funds are not where they are to be. You're on the verge of being evicted or losing your place.
You downsize.
Your lady says, "Hey boo, while you're looking for somewhere, you can come stay with me until you find something else." Hence, now she's your partner. You have a relationship. And all she's doing is saying, "Hey, I got your back. Let me help you out."
Well, that's cool.
I agree with Cal. I kind of agree with Cal in that. I do. I kind of agree with him.
Yeah.
But it has to be temporary. It can't be one of those things where now we're playing house in my house.
You're not playing house. Yeah. This is about the partnership and working together on your foundation.
So Cal, stop. What you just said was golden. With that being said, when you do move into the woman's house, is it wrong for her to ask you to help her with bills?
No, not at all.
No, you're supposed to do that mandatory.
Yes.
You're supposed
she shouldn't have to ask.
She shouldn't have to ask.
It costs to live in anybody's house. Anywhere you go, if you got a visitor staying 2 weeks, you're going to charge.
2 weeks. Look, after 2 days, you stink.
Yeah, after 2 days. Look.
After 2 days, you stink. Gotta go.
And it costs to live. It costs to live.
You don't live anywhere free.
Ain't nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, I say like the hardest.
So if a man says, well, what about? So he's suggesting to move in with a woman, right? And he says, and I'm going to put me in it, and I say, well, you know, if you're going to come here with me and spend all this time with me, whatever the case may be, you got to help me pay some bills. Now, what if he says, what about me? What about me? What does a man mean when he says, what about me?
Let me interject this. First off, you said he suggested it. It should be her suggestion, not him. That means he's already had in his mind to come stay there.
Yeah.
So right off the top, let it be her suggestion. Babe, you can come stay here so I can help you out. If he's already in his mind, oh, can I come stay with you? No, it's a bad move.
Really? So if a man asks to come move in with you, that's a red flag?
Yes.
Red flag.
I have a point.
Yes, I want to hear this point. Go ahead.
From the example that Cal gave when he said he came out of jail and moved in with his girlfriend, you got to look at the circumstance that you're in. You can't make this choice by the circumstance that you're in now. You got to think about where he was at that particular time.
I agree.
So when he came out, he had to start from scratch.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You leave with nothing.
And his girl said, I got you back.
See, I'm the type of woman that would say, I got your back, right? But having your back means you got to come to the table with something.
Exactly.
I'm not just going to have your back and just you sit up in there.
But if you have that person's back, then you're going to let that person lead. I mean, you take Oprah and Stedman. I mean, Oprah's a billionaire, but Stedman is still leading.
Right.
That's Oprah and Stedman are the perfect example for me, because people always say, well, you know, you were married, you're not married anymore. Okay, fine. The reason why I'm not married anymore is because he tried to be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Right? So it's time for me to move on and do this, right? Now, Oprah has it right. She got it right. She's a woman of power, doing things, making moves. She's got Stedman, but Stedman knows his position.
Yeah, he ain't gonna violate either.
He's not gonna violate.
But he's also a leader.
But he's a leader in his own right. So let me ask you a question. When a man says, "Can I get a copy of your key?"
No, you supposed to.
A man ain't asking for no key.
Earn that.
I ain't having no.
The man's supposed to.
But what if a man asks for the key?
She should say, hey, babe,
He's supposed to. He's never supposed to ask.
She should volunteer.
Yeah, right. She's supposed to off the rip say, I made a copy for you. No, you don't got to keep ringing the bell. I made a copy of the key for you.
So if a man asks,
bad move, red flag.
Yeah. Because
Again,
we ain't begging, we buying.
A man is never going to ask that question.
No.
a man is never going to ask that question.
The woman have a hard time respecting a man that she had to take care of and support him financially.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda. We love you, Brenda. Brenda is family here on Genesis Radio.
Yeah, Brenda. Brenda need to call in too.
The worst feeling in the world is when being kicked out. You know, you packing your bags. So when you outside, you thinking, hold up, what just happened? And where I'm going. And just imagine you calling somebody, yo, she just kicked me out. You know, where you at? Yo, where you at?
What's the topic,
Heavy bag luggage.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we agreeing or disagreeing that if you are in a one-off situation and you as his woman says, I got your back, but it's understood and discussed that it's temporary because we are a couple, we are together as a union, and we're going to build towards something bigger and better together, but this is very temporary.
Yeah.
I commend a woman that does that. Because not all men...
But that would never be said. That would never be said.
Why wouldn't it be said?
If a man is in that place, then that action will be done because she knows that man is going to provide. So it would never be said.
Right. That goes
she knows the man is going to provide.
Yeah.
Well, see, it takes a woman to know the definition of a man to understand that.
And to see his...
Some things don't have to be discussed.
Right.
It doesn't have to be discussed, so it would never be discussed. So,
press the button.
So that humiliation would never even be there to begin with, because then that's going to add self-doubt to the boy man that you're talking about. As a man, that would never be discussed. So that would never be an option for them in saying that. All
right, so with that being said, let's say he does ask for the key, and you're like, well, let me just think about it. Let's figure this out.
Nah, I'd be like, I'll see you later. It was nice knowing you. You're a good dude. Let's just be friends. And he goes into the prison zone.
So is there ever a good time to give somebody the key?
Yeah, when y'all got the wedding date.
Well, it's a good time to give when it's, when it's earned and deserved.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Thank you.
When it's earned and deserved, you can give them the key.
So when you say when it's earned and deserved, what does that mean, Kyle?
Meaning you're helping out with bills, you're doing things over there.
Well, how about when they just show up and never leave?
No.
In the house watching Jerry Springer all day while you at work.
Yeah.
Hey,
go.
I got a pocket full of keys and I got only
know
house.
that. I mean, see, that's a hard question because you would already know. And you would already know, so that wouldn't even be
Something that would even have to come up. But
Right.
so there's a lot of men out
I
there
mean,
don't
the
understand the
example of-
rules though. So when I talk to you guys, I'm talking to you guys.
Baby Boy.
Right.
You know the movie Baby Boy.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, Baby Boy.
So,
Yes,
Ben
that's a
Raines
man boy.
never- So you look at that, but you look at Ben Raines. What's the man that played Vines, whatever his name when he came in was Ben Raines. Yeah, You see what he did. That's a man. Mama, there was no discussion about a key. He was just there. In that movie, you look at it, he was just there. And man boy, Tariq had to deal with that situation.
Yeah.
Mama's boy.
So in that movie,
But I mean, would you call somebody a mama's boy just because they live with their mother? Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Sometimes I believe I would prefer a man to go back and live with their mother so that they could regroup.
Right.
And get their stuff together instead of going from woman's house to woman's house to women's house to women's house. I respect a man who goes back to mom to regroup.
That's different.
Because if my son comes back to me,
home is always home.
Right.
Home's always
You're
home.
gonna come. My son comes
Home
to
is
me.
always home.
What do you need, baby?
Right.
I'm gonna make sure you get it together, but I'm gonna make sure you get out too. You're not just gonna stay here indefinitely.
It's like a reality check, you know.
Right.
We evaluate
Right,
everything.
but Baby
back
Boy
out.
gave you both scenarios. The movie Baby Boy gave you both scenarios and what you talking about. So you're talking about the one who's a man boy who has to grow up, and he stepped to a man and you saw what happened.
He got beat down.
That's right. He told me you need to fix
and
it.
a man made him.
Well, they've
Look
always
at
said,
nah.
they've always said
Nah.
a child can't grow to be a man unless he gets to see one.
Yeah.
That was my part too when he said, "Go ahead, go for your mama."
So right.
for your
I mean,
mama.
so the fact of the matter is, what makes a difference between a man boy and a man who needs temporary help is what, Kyle?
A man who needs temporary help is one who knows and accepts his responsibility in this situation.
Yep.
The boy is
Right.
the one who's always looking for an excuse or a reason.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. And not paying. Not
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Responsibility.
I agree, but see again, times have changed a whole lot.
Yes.
You know, so and I think our generation view things differently because if you listen to these young bulls right now, they think it's okay
To pimp chicks, they call it pimping.
Yeah,
They got girls that's
Shacking
working,
up.
busting their butt, and the guys home watching Jerry Springer or playing Madden or playing Call of Duty and sitting at home just because.
Or Roy Jackson.
Just because she says because he gives good love. I mean, come on, he's got to be more than just.
How
love.
about this?
How this dude sitting up in
Roy
the
Jackson
house?
home washing dishes and cooking dinner.
Yeah,
you know
cooking
he's
the
a house
housewife.
husband.
Is
Yeah.
there
House
something
husband.
wrong with house husbands?
Yes, it is.
Well,
Truly, indeed, it is.
Not necessarily. I
think
won't
it
say
is.
that because if given the situation,
So let's say, okay, so Diana is, I'm going, pushing for a TV career. I'm going to use me as an example, right?
Okay.
And I'm working 15 hours a day, and let's say I had a baby
Yeah.
with the guy who I'm married to or engaged to. Let's say we had a baby. And because my career will be a lot more lucrative than his, not that makes me better, I'm just saying, let's call a fact a fact. I'm just going to be making more money than you. Is it wrong that he takes on the role
No.
of the man who's going to take care of the house,
No.
the
He's
bill?
the father.
He's going to be the father and stuff
No.
like that.
You got a lot of
Nope.
responsibility around that house.
See, that's the
That's
thing.
a lot.
A lot of men sleep
Yeah, a
on
lot.
the role of a woman.
Clean house,
I'll say this.
laundry.
I'll
A lot of things to do.
I'll put my personal business out there. I'll speak specifically my daughter's mother. I'm home. I'm on disability. I'm home. She wanted to go back to school to get her degree in as a medical assistant. We have our daughter and our other children, my children and her children.
Mm-hmm.
What I said was, all right, well, look, I got you. You go on to school, do what you got to do. I got the kids. I got the house. This is my house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take care of anyone that's in it.
Right.
So this is our understanding of the situation, and hence, I was basically somewhat of a house husband. But these are my kids. This is my home. I'm gonna take care of it. Why I'm gonna get someone else to do it?
That's acceptable. That's acceptable.
Now let me ask you a question, guys, and this is something that I'm faced with daily. And I get a lot of men inboxing me about this stuff and emailing me. And they talk about, why is it automatically women want us to provide for them? Everything is provide. And in my mind, maybe because, again, maybe it's a generational thing. I grew up with, I have older brothers, older uncles, older cousins. I've always seen men provide for me, my sister, my mother.
Right.
I've always seen that. I've seen men throw out the garbage. There's certain things that they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
We washed the dishes. They did. My thing is, why are you so upset and taking it so personally if I say I want a man to provide and protect me? Well, what about me? When a man says, what about me, what does that mean?
Then that's when you tell him to get out your inbox and tell him goodbye. Because he don't understand what it is to be a man.
He's a boy.
He's a child.
He's a boy.
He's the boy. What you talking about?
Me? He's a boy. He's not in that man yet.
What's that dude?
He's not in that man.
What did the guy call him?
He's not in man shoes.
Rodney, what do you call him?
Albert.
Fuck boys.
Not Albert. Yeah.
Fuck boys.
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah.
Because truthfully,
he's telling you, what about you? You supposed to protect him? Are you kidding me?
No, I think what they mean when they say, what about me? What are you going to do for me? Which a lot of women out here, again, I'm a feminist, I'm all about women, but a lot of women take and keep taking, and you'll keep giving,
no,
and they don't.
No. See, everything is give and take.
Right.
It's give and take.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you can't cover me while I'm covering you, Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Then you can cancel Christmas.
Equal opportunity.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you can't cover me while I'm covering you, it's not gonna work.
Well, that's why I said there are definitive rules.
Yeah.
But some men get upset when you say, I need you to provide and protect for me, and protect me. That men get upset with that. A boy gets upset with that.
And truthfully,
a man knows his job.
In a real relationship between two serious adults, that's not even a conversation to have.
No.
The man's going to want to provide.
That's right.
Protect.
No questions asked.
In fact, if we rolling together, first of all, you're going to feel safe and protected just because of my presence, because of my aura, my energy. You already know you covered.
Yep.
So guess what?
There you go, Kev.
When your car need repairs, you ain't got to tell me your car need repairs because I know it need repair. Here, you drive my car, I'm gonna take your car because something don't sound right. Let me take care of that. You ain't got to take out the trash. You ain't got to get the car fixed or other stuff. Now you gonna have to cook me something to eat.
Now when I get home, make sure I get something, and I agree with that. Does that make me old school?
And I need the $100 plan too.
A boy will beef and cry. A man knows what he got to do.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have to tell a man. He should come in, asking you what bills need to be paid. What's got to be paid, or what I got to do. What do I have to do? Or he should tell you. When you tell a boy something and he start complaining, you got to go. You got ASAP.
Your relationship should have that understanding. It should have that understanding without this conversation.
Hi, Boogie.
Thank you, Boogie. Thank you so much for calling.
You was way better than Brian, bro.
Way better. You call in anytime on my show.
Your Boogie's way better than Brian, man.
One of these months I'll be up there.
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
We're waiting.
Bye, baby. So Sue Fearless, my sister friend, she writes, this is because some men are thinking way too much into it. Human nature is to provide, to give, to help, to nurture. Egos get in the way, and that's when things go wrong. I just said this last night. When you have ego and pride, That's the worst thing in the world that gets involved with relationships, ego and pride. But at the same time, Sue, you're 100% right. Men need to know their role. Women need to know their roles. And you know, this has clarified so much for me because I'm always trying to be taking two sides, both sides. But there is a clear understanding. Men have to provide and protect, period. There's no other way around it. And now when I hear somebody go, well, what about me? I'm instantly going to think, turn off, red flag, fuck boy, man boy. These are the things that these are the things that are red flags.
You little bitch.
Bitch, that's my word. I gotta stop cussing because that is my word. I call it what? The minute I see that type of behavior, I'm like, ew. And here's the thing. Let's keep it all the way real. When a man is sexually endowed and he does a great job with sex, women could easily think that that's love. It's not love. It's lust. It's lust. That's all it is. You got some good stuff, but at the end of the day, when you wake up, what is he really bringing to the table? Hey guys, let me ask you a personal question, and don't take offense. Have you ever been dating somebody, was with somebody, seeing somebody, and you came over her house and you didn't have sex with her, but you guys slept, you guys talked, you guys had dinner, and you didn't sleep with each other, but you woke up the next day? Are you angry at her because you didn't have sex with her, or do you just say, okay, fine, I'll see you another time?
I'm real good with that because that means we shared more than physical
without
sex.
That means that we could spend time without sex. So it ain't gotta be more to than just sex. If I can just lay here and fall asleep and you fall asleep without sex, that's perfect.
One of the best nights I've had with a woman.
Exactly.
You told me about that.
Yeah, just laying there, falling asleep in each other's arms, talking and all of that.
And that's you know what you call that pillow talk, you know,
pillow
all
talk.
night.
But hold up, I'm gonna take it an ill step. God rest her soul. My mom's, me and the woman I was seeing, we were hanging out with my mom. She was disabled, and it was late. We fell asleep all together in this. Being a lady. Fell asleep sitting on the couch right across from my mother. So we spent the night in the room with my mother, just entertaining the conversation, just three people in peace. My mother with her child and his friend. And that was it. And that was a beautiful night.
What if a man complains about it? What if he's like, you know, I don't understand why we didn't have sex?
That's all he's thinking about.
That was his.
I mean, that's all that's on his mind. If he coming in, that's what we call thirsty. That guy, he's being that guy. He's thirsty. If he can just sit here and he's lusting and all, you know, he's that's all that's that's all that's on his mind. You know, he came to your house thinking that off the rip. You know what I'm saying? If he just can chill, watch Netflix or play the game, Netflix or cook or do something and just lay back, you could play, chess, cards, whatever, and just relax. It's just fun. If he can't do that, he's that guy. He gotta go.
One of the most entertaining things would be to sit down and say to you, hey Dad, so what you do today? What you talking about?
Right.
And just have that conversation. Let's get to know each other, how we feel, how we communicate.
What you've been through today, you know, how was your day? Sit and communicate. Communication is the key.
You know what? I'm ending the show, everybody. I'm ending the show. Diana's Real Talk is done. Because these guys are confirming so much about how I feel about things. And people will make you feel like you're being militant. I don't think I'm being militant.
Nah, it's just your guards is up. And in order to bring your guards down, it takes a lot right now.
Real talk.
My guards be up. It takes a lot to bring my guards down.
And real talk, I'm going to tell you, one of the best evenings, ladies, why don't you and your man sit together? I know you both eat. Sit together and watch the cooking channel. And just sit there and plan.
Or why don't you guys sit and cook a meal together? Yeah, go in the kitchen and cook a meal together. That is the sexiest thing in the world.
From the start, go to the store, shop for the ingredients together to plan the dinner you're going to have.
Oh, I would love that. I'm going to do that this weekend. It's 4th of July weekend.
And that's maturity. That's an adult relationship.
Sound like the fish and shrimps. You do the fish and you butter it up.
Right.
Exactly.
I'll do the frying. I put it out. You know, we together. You know, we work together. Cake, fish, whatever, chicken.
So what do you guys feel about playing house? So obviously, you know, I always bring it back to Genesis radio, and biblically, you're not supposed to play house, period, right? So how do you feel, and when people do play house, and when I use the word loosely, play house, meaning...
What do you mean by house?
There you go. So play house meaning you guys are living together, but you're not married, right? You're not married, and you're acting like a married couple. How do you feel about that?
I'm uncomfortable with it. I'm uncomfortable with it because having been married, knowing what it entails, seeing married situations, when you're basically playing house is an uncomfortable scenario because the obligations and commitments that are necessary are not being
there.
fulfilled.
Yeah, but I think I disagree, Cal, because I think it's practicing. It's getting you ready for marriage. I think when you playing house, you preparing yourself for the real thing.
But I understand that, Renzo, but then you know what? Once practice over, when is it game time?
When is it game time?
Yeah.
After
you had enough practice.
After you, what you say,
When you're
friends
60,
before
70 years
lovers.
old?
Friends before lovers. You could be friends for a while, and then you practice the house thing, and you know, I'm calling you wifey, you calling me hubby, you know, all of that. And then when it's time to settle down, we already know our roles.
But yeah,
Because we practice. We know what. We know what to
I need to have a commitment before I play house with anybody. I need to know we're going to get married.
To sit there and say, baby, this is you. I'm yours, you're mine, this is us. To make that commitment officially, not just the ring and the paperwork, but unified, just to sit there and say, it's us against the world. That situation is the beauty of that marriage, that relationship.
Got a question for you.
But then the thing is, because when you're in that playing house scenario,
Right.
whenever y'all disagree, one partner can say, fuck it, I'm out.
True.
You can't do that when you're married. You can't do that.
Put a ring
So
on it.
therefore you have to have that understanding. I'm committed, I've invested this, you've invested that. Let's sit down, work together, and move forward. When you're playing house, you're basically hustling backwards.
He said when you're playing house, you're hustling backwards. That's the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. You're hustling backwards.
How will you know when it's time to get married, Diana?
How will I know when it's time to get married?
How long would it take? Like, how would you long in a relationship? How long would it take you, and how would you know it's that time?
My ex-husband, let me give you an example. I always like to share personal fun facts or whatever facts to
real facts
to my people.
Real talk.
Real talk. When my ex-husband and I met, I didn't like him at all. I thought he was corny, and Dana knows. And one time he caught me alone. We had lunch. I was having a bad day. I fell in love with him at lunch. I fell for him at lunch, having lunch. And I didn't show him or told him or anything until 2-3 months later. Then we're like hot and heavy. We're very intimate, very sexual. We're in our feelings. We're going on vacation. We're going everywhere. He asked me to marry him.
How long?
3-4 months.
You said yes?
Of course I said yes.
He won you over.
He totally won me over.
And
Do you know why?
You said when you
And we
dated
lasted a
him,
very long time. And
That's
you know
good.
why? Do you know why I said yes to him? Because from the jump, I don't know, maybe because he was older than me, but I feel he came to the table to me like this. He structured it this way. You will be my wife. I will take care of you. I will protect you. When you're with me, even when you're not with me, nothing's going to happen to you. Because I'm going to make sure you're equipped and built. Everything is right to make sure you are okay. You're never going to want. I love you. And when a man shows that instead of talking about it, that's when, as a woman, we feel more secure.
He didn't get your mind, he got your soul.
He got my entire soul, my mind,
Body
everything,
and
body.
soul.
I gave him everything.
You get the mind and body, but when
You get
the
my
soul,
mind and soul.
Ooh.
The body comes.
Yeah,
I'ma
the
tell you,
soul.
The body
you get
comes.
soul.
One of the biggest hypest turn-ons for me is in I'm trying to remember that movie with I think with Wesley Snipes. I'm trying to remember the movie, It might have been Sugar
Jungle
Hill.
Fever?
No, Sugar Hill. When the guy had tried to seduce her or rape her at her house.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he said, and she was so distraught. She'd done Wesley wrong or what have you, but he took her in like she was in need. He took her in, and he said, "Well, don't worry, you can stay with me." And she said, "I don't have anything. I don't have anything." He said, "Is this all you have?" And she said, "Yeah." He looked at her and said, "That's all you need." With that spoke volumes of a man taking control to be there for his woman in the time of need. Didn't judge, didn't question, was just there as a man.
Boxer beat her up, right?
Yeah, when the boxer tried to beat her up, tried to take it.
Yeah, he thought
And
she
that
was
to
one
me,
of them
that to
groupies.
me is an epitome, as a sign of how a man should react. Don't ask questions. If this is your woman, if you care, if you're concerned, be there at a time of need.
And you know what's so funny?
See, Cal,
I agree.
That's your problem. That's your problem right there, Cal.
Well,
that's your problem right there.
Well, people talk about
That guy.
playing house.
That
guy right there.
Right.
I'm that guy.
That guy.
But you know, Cal says a lot of things. I think this is Dana's Real Talk.
Hey, Diana, it's Dana.
Dana!
Hi, Dana.
Hi, Dana. Now, let me just tell you guys, Dana is my daughter's godmother, and one of my best sister friends I've ever had in my life. Over 20 years of friendship. Over 20 years. So she said she was going to call in because, remember, Dana, when you and I were in the car ride home, I shared some personal things with you, and you basically shared some things with me, and here we are today. So you've inspired me, sis. Thank you.
Oh, so this is
Yes.
with the man boy?
Well,
This is
I'd
the
just
man
like to
boy.
congratulate you on a fantastic show. I am thoroughly entertained. The men on your panel are absolutely brilliant, and I appreciate
Thank you.
what all of you
Well,
guys
thank
are
you.
saying on every level. Absolutely.
Well,
And you know, you
Diane-
got the Queen Bee, the Queen Bee in the room, so it's definitely something that I'm really, really enjoying. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that,
By the way, your buddy's a bully, though. She's a bully.
Diana, we appreciate
She knows
Yeah,
that.
we
She
all,
already
I'm a
said
bully
divorce is
too.
divorce
Sorry.
is not an option.
Dana's been calling me a bully since we were 10, so I
There's
can't.
no divorce,
Yes.
only death.
So, Dana, we're about to wrap the show up, right?
I know.
Could you?
So I just
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
What your definition of a man boy?
All right. So aside from the fact that I feel like I'm raising one slightly, my son, who I just baby him the same way you are, Dee, with Freddie, you know, and raising our sons, I definitely feel that I have, you know, created a little bit of a monster and a little bit of a man boy, but he does know the role in terms of providing, and you know, he's not putting himself in a relationship right now because he doesn't want to do all of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So in that respect, I don't feel that he's, you know, completely irreparable.
Right,
But,
right.
you know, that man boy, and I see it in a lot of different areas. You know, you guys, some of you may or may not know with real estate. I'm a real estate broker. You know, I see things when, you know, women are getting their apartments, and, you know, I deal with people in the homeless shelters, and these ladies are in their apartments and in their little shelters, you know, with their multiple kids or what have you, and the day after the lease signs, that's where the man, all of a sudden, he's the next person, you know, he's the next occupant of the dwelling, and it's just really, like, all the time, you've been in the shelter 3 years, he didn't take you out the shelter, but he has the keys to your apartment. That's
Oh, I never even thought about that.
That's a man boy, number one.
Dana, I didn't even think about that. Listen, we getting ready to wrap up now because the next crew just came in. But Dana, thank you so much for calling. I love you so much. You know
I
that.
appreciate the compliment.
Yes, we love you, Dana. We're gonna have Dana here come after.
Yes, I'll be there in a couple of weeks, guys.
Okay.
Let us know.
Okay, Fidencia too. All right, I love you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thanks for everybody for tuning in, man. Tune in next week, man. As much